Welcome to Woodcarving Merit Badge. This is a special series of videos for the Tomahawk counselors. This is a shortened version, in effect, something that a younger scout, 14, 15, 16, can successfully help other scouts complete. It's not going to be as in-depth as I might do myself running a class, but it will cover all of the requirements. So starting out, when scouts come in, you're going to want to welcome them, collect their blue cards, get their names, try and get to know their names. Bob, great. Hey Bob, you might want to angle that knife a little bit differently. It's good to know their names. They know you're talking to them. Hey you, stop, isn't as effective as Bob, stop, or stop Bob. Okay. Anyway, so that's, 5 minutes. Next thing you want to talk about is safety. It's really important. Safety is really important because we are using sharp knives. Really sharp knives. Okay? And this is not a pocket knife that is, been sitting in our pocket. This is one that we've actually honed and sharpened to make it very sharp. If you're using the wood carving knives, those are just like using a scalpel. They're really razor sharp. So I cannot stress that enough, that we're using really sharp knives. And a sharp knife is a safer knife. Make sure they have their totem chip. If they don't, run through it real quick. Talk about, the circle of blood. Make sure you're sitting down. Make sure you're anchoring your project. You're not working over your legs. That you're, sit in a comfortable position where you're working away from your body. Always working away from your body whenever possible. Basic totem chip things. Go over that if they haven't gotten that. Check for maturity and just tell them, knives, we can't play with knives because they're not toys. They're a tool. We're either using them correctly or we're not using them correctly. And if you're not using them correctly, I will let you know that and help you to learn how to use it right. If you are not getting how to use it correctly, we'll just take the tool away from you. Not a time to be playing around with the tools. If somebody's doing something wrong, remember, they're just learning. Hey, you know what? You don't have a glove on. Let's get that glove on. All right. So then they get their glove on, and they're still carving. It's like, hey, did you see that finger was right in front there? Let's just stop. Take a look at it. Say freeze. Say, I want you to freeze. Don't move anything. Okay, now take a look at it. What's wrong? Oh, my finger's in front of the blade. Yep. So how do we fix that? Oh, we'll just move it back. Perfect. Okay. What's wrong? You're muscling all with one hand. No, you're going to be using your thumb. You want to push. So we'll go over some of this later too with the further instructions. So safety, making sure they're mature enough to be able to handle it. We don't want goofing, and just take it 100% serious. Control your work environment. You don't want a lot of stuff on the table. You want it clean. If you're using bench stops, make sure they're anchored solid and firmly so they can work in the bench stop. Handling knives. We have knives that always hand a knife closed to another person, and you do that by the release word thank you. If you have a knife, like your carving knives, and we need to pass it to someone, you never, ever, ever have two people handling the knife at the same time. So what do? You set it down. You turn it, you set it down, and then they can pick it up. If they want to give it to you, they turn it around, set it down, and pick it up. It's for any fixed blade knife. Granted, the ones we're using are small, But same thing as if we're using had a Bowie knife. You do the exact same thing. You turn it around, set it down, let them pick it up. Other than that, it's just basic safety. Just again, sharp knives. We're using sharp knives. Okay, first aid. One scout was teaching the portion of the scout. What was it? Oh yes, the axe yard. And I just love his saying. He said, "All right, this is my favorite part because this is where you get to torture wood." It is funny. You can use that, but then remind them that we are very carefully torturing the wood. Okay, we are very carefully going to be taking small bits and pieces off of the wood. Our idea here is just a little bit at a time. Okay, so first aid. Kids are going to cut themselves. They're going to get splinters. Not a whole lot else is going to happen. So keep calm. React quickly. Know in your head, we have a big slice. All right, what are you going to do? You're gonna put that pressure on it right away. If it's bleeding out all, put the pressure on it and squeeze it. If you can, get them to do it, okay? Because they're gonna be able to pinch it harder, or they'll know, okay? If you get a big cut, send for help right away. Someone will be there within 15 minutes. Your job is to stabilize, okay? Now, otherwise, it's the 3 W's: the wash, wrap, and then watch, okay? Very simple, very easy. Wash, wrap, and watch. Band-Aid, you get a little cut. Oh, it's just a little cut. All right, wash it off, put a Band-Aid on it, and watch it. Cuts, splinters. A splinter will go in one direction. Just remember to try and figure that out and then pull it out the opposite direction. Slices, wounds, heavy bleeding. Again, just that type of thing is these are sharp. You can cut yourself pretty deeply, pretty quick with a sharp knife. And that's pretty much it. Just going over your totem chip, the maturity, taking care of tools, having a clean and organized work environment, not working too closely, handling knives, and your first aid, and that's how you're going to start out. After that, we will go into the types of wood. Hardwood and softwood. We'll go pick up some wood. We'll talk about caring for the tools, the different tools you might use. We'll demonstrate sharpening, and we'll show you how we'll have the scouts practice sharpening. And we'll go into the 4 basic cuts we'll be using, and then we have 2 projects. 2 projects we're looking at is like making a magic wand and a stamp. There are other things like pickle forks or chess pieces or totems that you could do. Whatever the scout wants to do is perfectly fine. These are projects that I've had success with young scouts, bears. When I teach them the whittling chip, this is what they do, and they are successful in making a magic wand. The older the scout is, the more creative they get with this, because they understand the small, fine motor control needed with all that. And that is pretty much the introduction here to Woodcarving Merit Badge.